Disaster management. Intermediate English. First year. Disaster is a catastrophic situation in which normal pattern of life or ecosystem get disturbed and extraordinary emergency interventions are required to save and preserve lives or environment. India is one of the most disaster-prone countries in the world because of its peculiar geographical configuration. When there is a disruption in the balance of the environment, a natural disaster occurs and affects both humans and the flora and fauna of a region. Natural disasters are the manifestation of nature's anger and can take place anywhere and at any time. Such natural calamities include tsunamis, floods, hurricanes, earthquakes, forest fires and volcano eruptions. They have immediate impact on human health and lasting impact on human life. There is another type of disaster which is caused mainly by human error. These man-made disasters may result from gas leaks, oil spills, nuclear meltdown and industrial fires. Only natural disasters can be mitigated but not man-made disasters. India has taken many steps to manage disasters and has formed many organizations to mitigate, reduce and avoid the hazards of the disasters. Disaster management is a strategy adopted to reduce the hazards caused by disasters. The Red Cross and Red Crescent societies define disaster management as the organization which manages the resources and takes up the responsibilities of dealing with all humanitarian aspects of emergencies. In particular preparedness, response and recovery in order to lessen the impact of disasters. Vulnerability to disaster varies, but there is no country that is immune to disaster. India, with nearly 4,700 miles of coastline, regularly confronts cyclones in the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea. It faces many disasters such as floods, earthquakes, cyclones, tsunamis, droughts, and landslides. The recent disasters faced by India include floods in Uttarakhand, Cyclone Vada in Chennai, recurring earthquakes in northern India, Kamu earthquake in Gujarat, supercyclone in Orissa in 1999, Bhuj earthquake in Gujarat in 2001, tsunami in 2004 and Mumbai Gujarat flood in 2005. On 12th of October 2013, Cyclone Phalin battered the coast of India. causing inland fall close to Gopalpur in Odisha and led to great destruction. With high breeze paces and overwhelming downpours, the tempest brushed off rooftops, removed trees, overflew homes, and brought down electrical cables. The very recent cyclone Hudhud in 2014 is also an instant natural disaster. The Indian Meteorological Department has strengthened India's capacity to prepare for and cope with disasters. National Disaster Management Institute, NDMI, provided various programs for mitigation and responsiveness for specific situations. The Government of India is taking all steps to increase awareness of and preparedness for disaster risks within Indian communities. It is devoted to strengthening its disaster management institutions by passing important legislations. The Indian Meteorological Department forecast and enhances communication of early warning information prior to the onset of a cyclone. It successfully forecast and warned about the arrival of the cyclone Phelan. This gives the country lead time for preparedness efforts and for saving lives and livelihoods of nearly 1 million people living in low-lying coastal areas. The tsunami tidal wave that occurred during the 2004 Sumatra Andaman earthquake of magnitude 9.3 was primarily caused by vertical displacement of the sea floor. The earthquake and the resulting tsunami in the Indian Ocean affected many countries in Southeast Asia and beyond, including Indonesia, India and many other countries. This tsunami-genic earthquake was one of the 10 worst earthquakes in recorded history and was also the single worst tsunami in history. The intensity of this natural phenomenon was far beyond the assessment of the Meteorology Department. The disaster drew the attention of affected countries for setting up the effective tsunami warning system and institutional mechanism for handling disasters. Government of India has put in place an early warning system for mitigation of such oceanogenic disasters under the control of Indian National Centre for Ocean Information Services, INSWA. Hyderabad. Seismic and sea level data are continuously monitored in the early warning centre using custom-built software application. This software generates alarms whenever a preset threshold is crossed. The vision of National Disaster Management Authority, NDMA, is to build a safer and disaster-resilient India by a holistic, proactive technology-driven and sustainable development strategy that involves all stakeholders and fosters a culture of prevention, preparedness and mitigation. The NDMA generates a prompt and efficient response during disasters. The entire process will center stage the community and will be provided momentum and sustenance through the collective efforts of all the government agencies and non-governmental organizations. India faced a severe cyclone storm when Hudhud hit the country's east coast at Visakhapatnam on 12 October 2014. It has been the most devastating one in recent times, which made landfall in an urban area and caused the tremendous loss to natural resources. Disasters caused by humans are called man-made and technological disasters. Technological and industrial progress often puts the natural environment at risk. Chemical spills, nuclear meltdowns, nuclear testing, the careless use and disposal of hazardous materials are more common and can cause significant property damage and loss of life. The Bhopal gas disaster was a man-made industrial disaster that occurred on 3 December 1984. This tragedy was caused by the poisonous gas that leaked from the factory of Union Carbide India Limited, UCIL, a pesticide plant in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. The plant accidentally released 42 tons of toxic methyl isocyanate, MIC, gas, exposing more than 500,000 people to toxic gases. It caused extensive damage to the environment in the surrounding. The impact was both immediate and long-term because the lethal gas diffused into the atmosphere and people survived in the disaster have been getting lung, eye and skin diseases till today. This is an accidental disaster. Some man-made disasters are caused by carelessness and mere negligence. The mercury contamination in Kodaikanal that originated at a thermometer factory owned by Hindustan Unilever is a good example for this. The factory imported mercury from the United States and exported finished thermometers to markets in the United States and Europe. Many workers of that factory began complaining of kidney and related ailments. The company had been disposing mercury waste without following proper protocols. In early 2001, public interest groups unearthed a pile of broken glass thermometers with remains of mercury from an interior part of solar forest. International environmental organizations protested and Greenpeace forced the company to shut down the factory. The Department of Atomic Energy of Government of India found that the free mercury level in the atmosphere of Kodaikanal was 1,000 times more than what is found in normal conditions. Analysis of water, sediment and fish samples collected from Kodaikanal Lake by a team of scientists showed elevated levels of mercury 4 years after the stoppage of mercury emissions. A series of scientific studies have revealed the damage caused to the environment and to the people who were exposed to mercury in the factory. When the threat of a natural disaster is dire, the Global Facility for Disaster Reduction and Recovery, GFDRR, helps governments worldwide with a view to making resilience integral for development planning and policy making. The National Institute of Disaster Management, in partnership with the World Bank, GFDRR, Washington, offers a series of online courses on disaster management. The aim of these programs is to raise the level of awareness and preparedness as well as to enhance analytical skills and professional competencies of different key stakeholders in various areas of disaster risk management. The National Institute of Disaster Management, NIDM, online courses are the first of its kind in India and help different users in acquiring knowledge in the subject. End of the lesson.